good morning, or good afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are watching this right now. I'm here today, sitting in a dog park near my house, chilling on a swing. Got no dog, it's just me. Got the whole park to myself. So I thought I'd share a message, an important one at that, regarding the illusion of positive and negative experiences, and how to use both the experiences, the type of experiences, to your benefit. And especially how to not lose yourself in the positive experiences, because doing so is what creates the need for the negative experiences. The more you lose yourself within the positive, oftentimes the more negative is the further event that follows, and I'll explain why that is. So consult the last really positive phase of your life. You know, the last time you were having a really good time, or you experienced a lot of success all at once, or maybe you were on vacation, or maybe you were making a lot of money, or maybe you just got into a new relationship and you were super happy. Notice that phase of your life. Notice how immersed you were within that experience. During the positive times, you never want to learn. You never want to turn to the books or meditate or turn to God or ask the universe to help you out. During the positive times, you're just fully immersed within what is happening, within the experience, to the point where you start to identify with the experience. Because it feels so good, right? You start to identify with that experience, and this happens unconsciously. I'm not saying that you're consciously oh, I am this experience, but on an unconscious level, you are making that identification that I am having such a good time right now. This feels so good. This is life. This is my life. This is me. I am successful. I am making a lot of money. I am loved. And so you give your entire sense of I to the experience itself. And definitely during that time, you do not want to grow. Now look at all the negative times in your life, and you'll notice that's when you were turning within. That's when you were asking God for help. That's when you were trying to get the universe to rescue you. That's when you were picking up new books at Barnes & Noble or Amazon. And you were looking for answers, because you looked at your experience, what you had generated, and you said, this is not me. This does not feel good. This cannot be life. There has to be something else. And you started looking for answers. You started inquiring a deeper nature, a deeper meaning of life during those negative times. So what I want to convey to you with this video is that first, you need to wake up to this. You need to wake up to the fact how during the positive times, you were completely losing your sense of I within the experience, the projection that is being projected within your consciousness right now. And during the negative times, you try to reject that projection. And that's actually when you try to figure out a deeper meaning, a deeper purpose, a deeper sense of you. And so during negative times, your sense of I is completely misplaced. And you're like, oh, this cannot possibly be me, There has to be a greater purpose. And so once you start waking up to this, you start to realize that negative times, difficult times, come as catalysts to wake you up to a greater sense of you, to your true nature. They make you turn within. If life was just always, a pleasant time, if you were just always living a pleasant existence, which is actually, in my opinion, like the worst thing that you can have, like I went through a lot of difficulty during my high school years and my college years, with all the things that were going on. And like at that time, I thought I was so unlucky and all that. But those are the things that woke me up to this greater intelligence. Those are the things that made me turn within and try to find my own authentic path. Look for a greater meaning, purpose, everything. And so like I would never wish a pleasant existence upon any human being, because if you just always had a pleasant life, think about it, you would be consistently lost within that experience. You would be constantly identified with that experience. You would think that that is you. And so that is exactly why higher self sends you this. It just completely shifts your life around with a catastrophe or a chaotic experience, disastrous experience, in which you get completely shaken up and you're like, whoa, now it's time to find the answers. Now it's time to find out who I really am. So then you start to question. So see, the more you lose yourself within the positive times, oftentimes the greater the catalyst that will follow, that comes after. And because negative times are simply catalysts for us to wake up to a greater awareness, it's almost like a gift that higher self sends to us. Like, stop losing yourself further within this game, within this painting, within this movie. You are not that. You can experience it, but you are not that. Higher self is sending you an experience, which you call negative, but it's just a gift. It's a catalyst, like, oh, here. Now you're gonna have to turn within. Now you're gonna have to de-identify or disidentify with what is happening. That is not you. Wake up to who you truly are. Now, you might experience this with little negative events or something really big. Depends on how asleep you are to your true self. And sometimes, those gifts are helpful. Well, they're always helpful, but the way you go about using them will determine if they wake you up to that higher intelligence, right? That's you actually questioning and learning and seeking. Or if a negative event happens and you just consider yourself a victim of life and you lose yourself further within that negative experience, even though it's a negative experience and you're like, oh, this cannot possibly be me, but still you just like lose yourself in the vibration of it, then your life just keeps getting more negative. And then higher self has to send you further negative catalysts, more and more and more, to like, wake up, wake up, wake up. So that's really all negative times are. Catalysts. To wake up to a greater awareness. To get you to start questioning. And the goal of it all is creating a positive experience for yourself, right? Like after, as you're realizing who you truly are and you're realizing that you can create your own reality, you are the consciousness within which this entire experience is being projected. So you can choose your experience. And that's a beautiful thing. And obviously, if you wake up to that realization, what are you going to create for yourself? Are you going to create a negative experience or are you going to create a positive experience? So the goal is, yes, to create a positive experience, but at the same time, not lose yourself within that experience. The goal is to always be looking at life through a non-physical perspective, through the soul consciousness perspective, rather than being in the perspective that I am this body living in this world. This is my experience. This is my life. This is who I am. No, it is not you. And the more you think that that is you, the more catalysts your higher self has to generate in order to wake you up to who you really are. To wake you up to a realm where there is no suffering. You could be like a banker on Wall Street making millions of dollars and you're like, oh, this is me. I am this banker on Wall Street. I am a millionaire. I am successful. But let's just say overnight you lose all your money and you end up on the street. Now you're homeless. You're not gonna want to claim that identity, right? Because that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good to the ego. The ego's gonna reject that. You don't want to be homeless. And you're like, now I need God. Now I need the universe to come support me. So see, stop rejecting negative times. Stop trying to avoid negative times. The contrast within this physical reality is so necessary. And it is okay. The more you are scared of it, the more you're going to invite it. Because your higher self is trying to wake you up to the perspective where you don't have to be scared of it. Where you know who you are, essentially beyond this experience. So stop being scared of it. Stop trying to avoid it. Face it. Don't run away from it. Deal with it. If you are in it right now, deal with it. Love it. Embrace it. And once you start to embrace it, then you literally start to create change. You start to open yourself up to a greater reality afterwards. You revitalize the flow, and now you realize more and more of your power as creator of your life, and you can start generating positive experiences very soon. But when you do, don't lose yourself in it again. There's a constant challenge that I'm going through too, like I notice myself when things are going really, really well. That's when I don't have time to meditate. Oh, Sonny, I don't have time to meditate. That's when I'm not, actively trying to become self-realized and whatnot and grow and become more aware. That's just when, during positive times, I just completely sometimes lose myself in the experience. So, I include myself in this learning curve. And I'm being honest about it because, this is my personal mastery quest. You guys are on a journey with me. And we're growing together. So yes, I am in this learning curve as well, but this is a truth that I'm really waking up to more and more. And, within this pleasant, really positive experience right now that even I'm having in this park, just a beautiful morning, kind of a cloudy day, but it's really nice. We've had too much sun for the past couple of days. It's been real hot, so a day like this is a blessing. But even within a positive experience like this, not losing myself. Always coming at life from a non-physical perspective. From the perspective that there is nothing to fear, there's nothing to guard, there's nothing to conquer, there's nothing to achieve. I am. I is. And the rest appears. And whatever appears is allowed. It is accepted. It is valuable. Don't cling on to anything. Don't resist anything. Freely allow everything. And use it to become more aware. Now, what I would suggest is that use the positive experiences even to grow and become more aware. Turn within even during the positive experiences. And then your higher self won't have to generate as much shakiness, as many catalysts, as many chaotic events, as many negative events to wake you up. If you just maintain a non-physical perspective during the positive times, and you continue to seek, you continue to grow, and you continue to not be identified with the physical, even during the positive times, now your higher self, you, who you really are, doesn't have to generate all these negative experiences to wake you up. And that's the journey. That's beautiful, So meditate every day. It doesn't matter how great your life is. It doesn't matter how successful you think you are. Constantly seek the reality that is greater than you. The fake you, The fake you is this body, this mind. Seek a reality that is greater than that. Seek the real you, which is the container, the locationless container within which this experience is being projected right now. the experience of this body experiencing success or on vacation. Okay, practice. Let me know what phase of life you're going through right now in the comment section below. Is it a positive one? Is it a negative one? And how are you using it to deepen your awareness? How are you using it to, as a catalyst, to wake up to a greater sense of self? I'll end this video with a quote that I once read in Eckhart Tolle's book. I believe it was The Power of Now. Don't know exactly how the quote goes, but he said something along the lines of, when an unconscious person experiences a difficult time, he sinks further into unconsciousness. But when a conscious person experiences a negative time, he uses that negative time to deepen his awareness, to become more conscious. And what I'm telling you in this video is to go even further. Use that negative time to deepen your awareness, but use the positive times equally as much to deepen your awareness, so that the need for the negative times as catalysts being sent from your higher self is less and less and less. And so that you can have a more pleasant experience more often while still seeking for a greater reality, a greater sense of self. And ultimately that is what you want. So practice this. Let me know if you have any questions about it. Let me know if you'd like me to expand on it further. Give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to get coaching with me one-on-one, I am doing coaching again for a limited amount of time. All the details for that are in the description box below. Check it out. But subscribe to this channel and I'll see you in the next video.